February 13th. First up with Chief Brad.
That's me. Well, I'm going to Dan Building. We're doing over there with the shower we had, and we found one of the walls. I don't know if we're going to pull it over. I don't think the one we originally pulled is still valid.
How extensive is the work?
We started litigation today. We're using Accolade, which is a Kingston-based business. If you're affiliated with the station, the conference room, then you have the water bubbler in the bathroom. So they ripped out 4 walls in that section with more than about 5 feet.
I'd like to see you pull one just to repair leaky pipe, because there's no charge and no put it on.
Yeah, so the reason that I'm told that's why we closed all the permit in the first place, for the original station. So I contacted Primex, they sent somebody out, they said we're doing everything that we should be doing. Acadia is the insurance company for J1 Tower, which is the plumber, which is what caused the problem. They want us to sign a releasing them from any wrongdoing and give us a check for $900. Through Primex, through Bowman Corporation, they advise not to sign that and not to accept the money. So they're going to do the work. I will be calling a commercial hydrologist, I guess, which is somebody that comes in and certifies that there's no more left in the area. So with that paperwork, he's supposed to come in on Friday or Monday. After that, as long as that test comes back okay and clear, and we'll start redoing the work. Through Primex and through everything that we've had laid out, the Bowman construction management company had back $20,000 from J1 Tower until they turned the building over to Kingston after their year warranty. So they'll be using that fund, that amount of money, plus whatever we get from the insurance company from Acadia to mitigate all the issues there and rebuild it. So there's no cost to the town. So they're well done there. They're working on the punch list that we have of other things in the building that we noticed, some flooring issues, some leaks in the air conditioning ducts that we saw in the summer. So before they turn the building completely over to us in May, they go through and fix everything that we see or adjust everything that needs to be adjusted. So 2 pieces of paper, so that's all I have. Any questions on that? No. 2 things that I gave Susan on. The first thing was sheet paper. This is Kingston's emergency operation plan. So this is basically if there's a major incident in the town of Kingston. This is outlines ICS and proof of charge and all that good stuff, how to bring the town of Kingston back to regular operating schedules. It has to be signed every 5 or 10 years, I believe, by the selectmen. This plan was done in 2006, so probably in the next 5 to 10 years, there's another time to update it, because there's names like Larry Davis and Peter Broderick in here that we need to update. So, but that's just to basically accomplish in a public meeting that we've been operating in this hospice for the last 15 years, and we will continue to until it's updated.
Okay, so you want to operate under that and then update it, not update it, then?
Correct. They just, the state did something on record that the selectmen have adopted this. Fine.
Is there a timetable that has to be reaffirmed by? Because I would like to have the opportunity to take a look at it. I think there's some clear items of people that are no longer in positions in the town. I'd like that to at least be amended before we re-adopt it. And then there needs to be a further amendment of it. I think that's appropriate, but I don't want to just reaffirm something if we continually know that some people don't even.
I'm not saying like where this is in here, but you signed, something. So once we redo the whole plan, and it takes, this probably took close to a year to do this whole thing.
So this is the administrative details that they need to take care of. I prefer those be done prior to us re-accepting it, and I'd like to look at it. So, I can see.
Yeah, I got something I have here, so I can, I'll send it to everybody just to take a look at it. And then the other thing is, every 5 years we do what's called a hazardous mitigation plan. So basically that's for, through FEMA, any major hazard areas, so like low lying for floods, and, you know, what can we do to protect the town against, you know, wildland fires and the rapid spread of them. So I've sent Phil the current plan. The paperwork there is just a grant through FEMA that will get $9,000 to cover a private company to come in and rewrite the hazard mitigation plan. Last time we did it was 2016, I believe. So we get people like Glenn Kaufman, the planning board, police chief, highway, usually I think there's a back and Pete Barr was here, so there was a selectman representative there. Just a couple meetings during the day, and they give us a current plans, 173 pages, that just outlines, target areas they see in Kingston, and how to fix them and move forward. So that's what that grant is. Just like the generator grant, we have to, motion needs to be made by the body to accept that grant, just so it's all on record. And then I sent Susan an email that looking for workers' comp, insurance, and a couple other things. Obviously, just the very paperwork that we try to apply for.
And it's $9,000, no cost to the town.
Correct.
That's the paperwork with the initials on all the pages.
Yeah.
They have them.
So she has copies that went around, she also has electronic copies. So if you want a chance to look it over or whatever, I can send you the hazardous mitigation plan in an email as well, just to see what it's all about. You don't have to accept that grant tonight, that'll wait.
Because there's no meeting next week, so.
Yeah, I'll go on the schedule for the week after.
Okay. Which will be a daytime meeting.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Public comment number 1. If you want to comment.
Okay, Dan Doyle, 156 Main Street. Have an issue Friday, wife waiting around the house all day, called about water company at 3 o'clock. They ran out of water, they totally skipped my house. Unfortunately, Mr. Bashan was the only cell phone I had. I called Mr. Bashan, told him my situation. He knew I was upset. He instructed me to go buy some bottled water, which I did, and I had to proceed for reimbursement. I also believe Mr. Bashan said that the town was going to deliver water to my home today.
No, I sent you the Monday or Tuesday, because I wanted to bring it up under new business tonight. An urgent situation like that, I called the chairman to get authorization for you to purchase some water, but I wanted the full board to be aware of what happened to authorize, and I was going to move to that the town provide a supplemental delivery, hopefully tomorrow.
Okay, because I am going through a lot of water with, animals. Has anybody followed up with the water company as far as?
Yeah, I was going to talk to Bill about it first.
Okay, because I want an answer, because running out of water is not acceptable. I mean, bring a bigger damn truck or something.
Well, they should have called it, we came, they were wrong.
Well, absolutely, my wife's stayed home all day just to wait for the water delivery.
If they knew they were out of water, they should have called and said, hey, we don't have water, we'll be here Monday.
Right.
I said, I'll do it Friday, and now we'll be there next Friday.
Yeah, when I asked them to come out and deliver it, they said next week, meaning next Friday, so I had to go another week, without water. That's not acceptable. Not acceptable. I mean, this water thing is, I've only been doing it for 4 days. Well, I brought my own water the first week, obviously, but this is just ridiculous. I mean, my home is inundated with water jugs all over the place. this just isn't gonna work out, so you guys need to figure out what you're gonna do for me. Because, I'm seeking counsel right now, and this is not right. And this is not the way you treat citizens in this town. You know, I can't say that you should be ashamed of yourself, the way this has been pursued by you guys. All right.
Good, Susan. Committee liaison reports.
So that's been a business just for the planning board, so I'll deal with that under old business, about the request from the draft house, and we have the other item on there for Ginger Way. I believe, yeah, they're both on there. Some of the package, so I'll bring a lot of old business. I don't think there was anything else that really came up.
I don't have any other stuff like that HDC meeting tomorrow.
I went to the waste management committee meeting last week. We had a rather long with Mark that had to go along and seems to be going very well. He's driving a improvement in the collection process that we're going through. We set up scheduled meetings for the rest of the year. We also plan to review and update some rules and regulations and some consequences of things that goes according to plan. So it's a good meeting.
Good. And I have nothing. Old business.
Old business, okay, so, I brought the request from the draft house, regarding the special permits that they requested from the board of selectmen. The board's wish was, before we voted on it, to get some input from the board, whether or not they felt like so many special event permits may constitute a change of use of the property. I think the planning board's consent, well, I think they really need some time to digest it. I think they're maybe gonna come back to future comments. But they said, yeah, actually, a special event permit could absolutely be used to essentially circumvent an approved site plan. In this situation, I think they felt that these 10 events that were applied for are maybe going to trigger that. I don't think they were willing to come up with a number of when that happens. But ultimately, I think it falls under, and I think they agree that it probably falls on the board to make a decision. So say this is successful this year, and we come back with 25 applications, I think it's going to be incumbent on the select board to say, okay, now we think this constitutes a change of use of the site, so we're going to recommend you go to the planning board before we sign any permits. So with that being said, initially I was thinking, well, instead of approving all 10, why don't we approve 4 or 5 and see how it goes? But with that being said, I don't want to just go into with this approval, assuming that somebody's not willing to do the right thing. I think if these events start off and they are becoming problematic and people bring us evidence that there's violation of town rules and ordinances, then we can address it. If we're forced into a situation where we have an appeal, or, pull back any special events because they're all the same, I think we can do that. But at this time, I would feel comfortable on the board voting to approve these special event permits as written.
Should we put a caveat on there that we don't keep these violations of the?
I think we could put a caveat in there saying the board reserves the right to revisit these if we start receiving any complaints about the activity during the special events.
Well, my only comment is that the draft house said 5:30 to 7:30, and I doubt if that's gonna be what Satellite does.
Yeah.
We're gonna want to go a lot later, so I think we have to take them case by case and not work them together.
Yeah, and these ones are all for the draft. These 10 are all also for the draft house. I don't want to put words in their mouth. I'm assuming if they're gonna try and line somebody up for entertainment, they want to book them for the entire season, and they're telling them that they can do that. Yeah, I think it's the totality of the circumstances on any one of these that we cover, and the times that they're requesting, the type of entertainment are always gonna be a factor,
I appreciate the fact that they actually came forward and asked for it, because it's my impression that the previous owner did it without even asking. So the fact fact that they came forward, as far as mentioning the caveat, I think I'm approving it from what they said. If they're doing what they said, for the past 7:30, that's a problem. They're not doing what they said, so I'm inclined with you, as long as they're doing it from 5:30 to 7:30, it's acoustic set, maybe a mild amplification, you know, I think it's okay, but I appreciate that they actually asked, so you know.
I don't know if anyone wants to relook at the exact.
No, I saw last week.
No, I'm sorry, I don't have a problem with that, I don't think we need to tell them,
Somebody want to make a motion, and then I'll go on the discussion.
I'd like to motion that we approve the special event permits as presented by the draft house for the different times throughout the season.
second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. You want to talk about Ginger Way?
Yeah, so this is a property that looks like another living space was built out in the back part of the property, and at the time they approached either the chief of police and the review doesn't know if they approached. So what happened was they were concerned that if any type of emergency happened at this address, that people would not be able to differentiate between the living space in the building out back and the building out front. So they approached, I believe it was Chief Briggs at the time, and asked about getting a 911 designation, which as the chief of police, he has the authority to do. So what happened was they had contacted E911 and gave it a designation, and instead of renaming it within Rockland Road, where it was located, actually, they had given it the name Ginger Way. Part of the reason I believe they did that is because the town does not use site distance for numbering or distance for numbering. It uses sequential numbering, so there were no numbers in between that property and the next property that would be available to renumber it. I guess there was a suggestion at one time that it should have been possibly looked at as 14A or 14B, 14C, whatever designation was appropriate. By that time, that had already happened, the E911 designations had already occurred. So this was already entered into a state system. So it never went through the process until it was brought up now that the select board had never formally adopted the address. And nobody's looking to have this adopted as a town road. We're just looking that the town recognizes it as a private road. And I think if we made a motion to acknowledge it as a private road, would make it very clear there's no intention to ever accept this as a town road.
Confirm you do not plow. You do not plow Ginger Way, okay.
Do you have any other input on this situation?
I would say that the problem over any address. Yeah, problem in your way. So it's a matter of.
What number is it?
I believe that it is.
Isn't that 1 and 3?
I want to say something wrong.
I think there's a big 1 on the first house, and there's a 3 on the other one, if I remember saying it right.
They're both dwellings are located on the same property.
That is the complicated part about it.
So I'm trying to bring that analysis. And if I were on that, if you're not going to wait a time, you can go that way. But I don't know where you want to A and
Okay.
If we can do that, I think that's a better way to go with it.
Why don't you check how it's set up and see what you recommend and bring it back to us, and then we'll adopt it from there. Because it is in the avatar is Ginger Way already. So we might have to change some of that stuff.
But I'm trying to be on the same property, that you never number, 1 and 2 on the same property.
And I'm not sure if it's the same property or not, I'd have to look at it again.
Also, I have on that.
Okay.
I think it's kind of like the same property, we're just building back.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, I'm not gonna guess, but.
Okay.
There are 3 units on there, and a lot of them got subdivided out, and that's why. Yes, there was a subdivision that happened at one point.
Okay.
So if you can give us just some run out before we make that decision, I think we just need to check with any real estate records registry of deeds. Because if there's stuff formally recorded, with the registry of deeds that's tied to mortgages and stuff like that, this would become very messy. And may, while I agree with your reasoning, the best resolution may be to adopt the ginger waste status, but I agree with you from the E911 perspective, what it should be, but I think we need to look at those other alternatives, because they could create a very laborious task. I think these people were, at the time, they were told that, okay, this is okay, go forward with it, so it's kind of no fault of their own, so we may have to know.
Yeah, so I don't even know the plan to be on.
Yeah.
Just to see if it's the way that, first time to get that.
Yeah.
Okay. Letter from Comcast that I think we saw last week, but it's just basically saying their contract is ending and they will be contacting us.
The end of next year, right?
Yeah,
2024, yeah, it expires in September of 2025. They just didn't have a date, so you wanted me to reach out, that's what it is. They
So it's
were
a-
required to
so why are they sending a letter now for the end
By
of?
law, they had to give you 3 years notice apparently. So.
Okay.
Yeah, my question was, coming back to the old days, when we were renegotiating with Comcast, we didn't have a lot of time. And so it didn't get probably the best look at that it should. And normally it takes at least a year contract. And then given, looking at this, it's a year from now, only 9 months between.
It's actually 2 years from now, because it's a year they're gonna talk to us, and it's another year before it expires.
Susan, that would be a kind of put in that contract, Mr. DeBoer, for us.
Yeah, heads up.
So that we can, keep that in mind as we review the year, it's
I just think we should
start soon.
give ourselves more than a time. If it's a year, we might get done in 3 visits, but I don't know.
Next is the credit card thing that's in your folder. Anywhere that's to put a credit card on the right side or in the assessing and permitting thing, it's $325 per machine, $60 annually. And we add a fee to offset the cost of the
What is the, town clerk use?
same thing.
Oh, okay.
And what we're asking now, and I don't know if it hasn't came back today, but is there a way to separate the 2 windows, because you're gonna go into one place, and we think there is, but we were waiting for that answer.
Yeah.
Since it's the same company and everything, but
About how to separate the billing.
right, all I thought that she could separate it some way.
Yeah, you know, we're charging a fee to cover all the costs, right?
Yeah, we turn around and add 3%, something like 2.78 or something weird, that is automatically done by machine, so we don't have to sit there each time and say, it's 2.78%, it doesn't. So, want to make a motion to accept this?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Noes? Motion carries. Water results for the museum. Nothing different in that one.
Hey, you got a letter here telling you the results. I think I gave you a copy, just so you know what people are receiving when they get the results of their testing. Because they tested the museum as one, so.
Are you getting copies of these water tests that they're doing in different buildings? Okay.
You should be.
Well, you should be looking at them if nothing else, so we'll figure out a place that I can put them and forward them to you or something, so you get them.
Did it happen before or no?
No, I don't know why we can test in the museum.
That's what I'm asking. They just randomly picked it, or because of public water?
Either that or DES told them to check it, because DES is telling them several sites to check.
That was on the initial list of everything.
We're all in town hall, just
I don't think it was on that list. I don't know. I'll find out.
I'm just curious why they're skipping, especially if it's up next door, we're skipping all the way over there, not checking us. There's no one really.
Don't we do the bond,
but still, I'll be testing so we know. Lost my agenda.
So that was building the ground to that?
No, Kingston Analytic, so that makes me think EES told them to.
Yeah, they did, they had a list to work from.
So just one clarification, having not seen it before, if I'm listening at that side of it,
Yes, this one, this is.
the bottom half is good for money.
It tells you, in other words, it tells you the count, it tells you the accepted amount. And typically, if it's over, there'll be a big flag there, or a big age that'll say, you know, high needs attention.
Basic information is in the letter. And we get a report from the company of the overall results.
Okay, public comment number 2. You want me to go on resting or no? I think we need to talk about that. I mean, we've kind of had you involved in like town buildings and stuff, and this thing's getting ridiculous, so there'll probably be a couple of us watching it and analyzing it before it goes to this board.
Okay.
So I'll start making sure you're on the email too, because I'm not even on some of them. Susan added me last week, and I wasn't getting a lot of the reports, so.
So far, we're just getting a trickle of each property as they do it, and it's voluminous.
I really don't like how they report, like they'll send one, or wait a few days, send another, you know, and stuff like that, we improve them and get them together.
Well, where we at with like, obviously Mr. Doyle was here earlier, and, you know, if we got this one from that, like,
We should get a report this week or maybe next week that analyzes that last one I just did.
Yeah, and when Mr. Doyle was here last week, we had said we can't give him any further information until we see the full report and see what the results are, because the other concern was, where was that contamination coming from?
right.
It wasn't necessarily from the PFAS, from the fire station, it could be another source.
Some over here, because there was a boat place there at one time. There's been that septic there a couple different times, there's been several issues.
So who is Eastern Analytic reporting to?
Sanborn Head.
That's just it, they were sending Susan bits and pieces.
Like getting them through Sanborn Head.
Right.
Basically when the results come in, but they're giving them to Sanborn Head, they're analyzing and making their report to us and to DES, but they're not,
And the residents apparently.
well, if they have.
By law, they have to contact residents if they come back positive within 5 days.
He's the only one that's,
Beneficial if we would notify first, so we would know that it's something like that.
well, we did, but they had to notify him within 5 days, so that was the, that was.
Which if they notify them, they should be able to notify us too.
We were notified.
Okay. I guess we'll talk later.
Okay, while you're sitting there, I have a question. I think you heard today that we had somebody reported the trash bin stolen.
Yes.
Do you have a list of serial numbers that match the address? Okay, I'll get that from you tomorrow, so I have a couple of suspicions right now.
So what we typically do is if we're alerted that a camp has been relocated from where it should be, I won't necessarily do people right off the bat, but we've been working with the waste management drivers to inform them of that number, those numbers, so as they're going around, they check for them. And we've worked out a pretty good system with that to date. I think there's only one, other than that one that was reported today, like the one that's missing. So, we have a lead on that. So,
Okay.
Lead. Oh, boy.
can we jump back to new business?
Yeah.
So obviously, I just wanted to follow up on, Mr. Doyle's concerns, obviously, call. I would like, you know, I would like the board to
want to leave anyway.
Correct, I think that needs to be brought up to the company, I don't know.
You've been talking to them, right?
So this is a good thought. People are taking water from downstairs, and this is person is the other buildings. And in the past, there's been issues with some of the banana deliveries, and people have just gone and taken water out of there. These are two separate vendors that are delivering water to the town and to the systems or the houses that are over the limit. So these are not interchangeable. And also the water level that we get ordered is set a specific amount. So when people take two from here and then we have to backfill two from another building, it creates a lot of problems for us to chase down.
I didn't know that was taking water from here.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's,
So it has to stop, right?
yes, it does need to stop. So is that who needs water? If someone, like, within the town needs water, they just need to call myself, call our office, or give us a call.
So is this like, put it out to the department heads things and let them handle to make sure people aren't doing that?
Well, we should bring the water department.
We'll do that. I mean, I would just, I mean, in the interim, we're in the department head meeting, but I think we just send something out tomorrow, let the department heads know that nobody's supposed to be taking water from here. Because it's just a delivery process, I don't want to leave it.
Because what we're trying to do is, the water situation is insane. We are spending way too much money on water, you know, at places that are certified drinking water sources that we get tested quarterly by the DES should not get water delivered, or if they do, it shouldn't come out of my budget. They can do whatever they want, but, and we're in the process of trying to verify other buildings so that we don't have to continue buying water. Water is $6.75 for 5 liters. It's $1 and change a gallon for water. It's ridiculous. So, and some places drink a lot of water. The cops don't know what they're doing all day, how they can sit in that car for as long as they do, because they can see a lot of water over in that building, but, so that's one thing. As far as the other vendor, I don't have any interface with them or do anything with them, but.
Oh, you don't want to give, I thought you were just reviewing the bills, right?
Well, I'm trying to figure out because there were things coming onto the bottled water line item that were from that other vendor, and there was some confusion there, so.
Well, bottled water from Crystal Hills, right? The
The bubbles for the town are in Crystal Hills.
Yeah.
The deliveries to residents.
They're not, yeah.
And those are not 5-gallon bottle water.
They don't have that, right?
Yes.
But I, what you said, we'll have to talk more of it after, but I think that's unacceptable that they would promise to deliver on Friday, it didn't happen. I understand things happen, so then they should have delivered on Saturday.
What happened is that we all get for it, it never showed up, this is supposed to be their first delivery. That's ridiculous.
But even then, they should have to wait a week to get it delivered. Correct.
And I don't even know if we bid that or anything, or if we were in a bond, so we went to.
I don't think we did bid it.
We looked at several companies,
Yes.
and we went with that one for a reason, like it was
They were the only
price.
one who would do it.
Yeah.
Everybody else was
They also-
unable to meet our demand.
The demand and also the type, because we didn't want to distribute the large bubblers, because people can't handle them.
Right, I understand that.
And some of the other companies didn't deal with the smaller, I mean, we had several reasons why we chose them.
So is there someone that can reach out to them tomorrow, find out if they can make delivery tomorrow, and if not, we can have, I think we owe them to have the town.
Yeah, I think it's discussing it, that happened.
Did you want me to call Monadnock, or you?
If you find the number,
I have their number.
because I won't come in, I won't come in.
So,
Since we knew it was a water field as well.
yeah,
I have one, there's no way I put the 5-gallon jug of water, but I can roll it into the bottom of the container. And maybe we should look at some of them. There are more things available today, is what I'm trying to say.
and I think the other thing that came up about Mr. Royal's comments last week, I think anyone that the town has provided water for, we should notify them that they're eligible for an extra recycling bin at no cost, and like, before to support that, notify them that they're eligible for it, and then if they are inclined to take us up on it to deliver that, because the recycling bins, which probably, those are the cost that trash is. And when they're used properly, the town may actually generate some credit.
So the water company doesn't take back for bottles?
I know it's good. Not a lot, some of it's
They want to give cases this size.
You can't do household amounts.
I know, that's what they do, and that's the only person that was willing to do something.
One needs to offset.
Yeah, as I say, and 19 houses come to this house, and that's why it's not going to store it and everything else.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, we have legitimate things, I'm happy to call you, but, you know, it's just, I would have been on fault with that, because I'm, yeah.
Oh, he was, I mean, so we ran out of that, man. I'm still running the road, so let me use call her, because now this time he contacted me, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I think that could be settled. And
I don't know if the board is just comfortable affirming that for those things for the trash can and everything.
I think that is a good point, and I think we should be doing recycle bins for those people.
I mean, we should probably pick an amount of water or something and say that X amount of water. The other thing is, a lot of state grants right now for water systems and everything else. Once we get this report, we can decide.
Yeah, and I think we ought to be assisting these folks in providing them the information, because some of them may not be eligible for the town to apply for, they have to do it individually, but I think we should be doing anything we can to steer them in the right direction.
But my own concern, and I get a little annoyed every time I hear it, is that we're supplying water almost everybody for the people. Now, in his particular case, as he happens to have 70 chickens and 1 fowl, I don't see our obligation, or at least if we're gonna do it in the bigger bottles, with his animals, or anybody's animals. Let's have it split it up. My question is, why should we be supplying water for the lands?
Because it's a household, whether
It's 70 chickens, you know.
it's a household. I think more question is really liability bodies, but.
You know, so I'm gonna that water,
Would it really be fair to say we're talking not public after?
Okay, yeah, we need to work on all of them.
All right, we have a couple forms in here to sign that are mentioned. Approval of minutes, February 6th. Public and non-public.
So moved.
Second, discussion, all those in favor say aye. Anybody have anything else?
Did we send a note to Kingston in reference to that? Alcohol wants to move it.
We signed it.
Yeah, we're all set. I sent that to Mary Lynn.
We did send it.
Yeah.
We just had.
She was gonna bring it to her committee.
Okay. Because she has to figure out whether it's town owned or.
Yeah, we signed that.
No, that was it. It's a matter, she sent a letter, it's their problem.
Okay, motion for non-public.
For 2 legal items.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Going into non-public, we'll be signing first, so